Having a screen lid for your aquarium is not only a great way of keeping fish in your tank, but also helps with reducing heat in your aquarium, as well as keeping very little impact on light penetration. So today, we're going to build a screen lid for this aquarium, and with the right tools, it should take about 30 minutes. So let's get started. The first step is to make sure your tank is square. Sometimes the edges of these plastic frame tanks are not exactly 90 degrees, and it's a good idea to check before you get started. Now let's measure the inside lip of the tank to see what we need to cut. We measure the inside because that's the space the lid will occupy. We also have to measure out the 4 corners. This will be vital in getting our final size. Now let's get the rail and measure out our first size. And then subtract the measurement that we got from the corners. This will give us our final cutting size. Using a hacksaw or table saw, you can cut through this aluminum frame pretty easily. Make sure your cut is straight, so when you put it all together, everything is nice and flush. Here's a quick tip. If you notice that some edges seem rough or uneven, use a file or sandpaper to smooth it all out. Now that we cut all the rails, assemble the corners and stick them all together. When installing the mesh screen, it's best to start from the bottom, then the top, left, then right. What you want to do now is lay the mesh screen on top of the railing, then cut the screen to size. When installing the actual mesh screen, you want it to be taut and have very little give. Now that you have your mesh screen cut, use a screwdriver to insert it into the rail slot. After you make sure the grid is straight, you can now install the rubber spline. Here's another quick tip for you. If you measure out the spline for each side, cut them into 4 pieces. It's a lot easier than just going around the corners. A lot of people use their fingers to press in the spline, but I find it a lot easier to use a large flathead to push it all in. You can use the mesh screen that comes with our kit, but if you don't like those, you can always use our frame and a mesh screen found at your local hardware store. If you're making this lid for a rimless tank, then you're going to need a mounting bracket. You can use some magnets to hold up the screen lid, but for a cleaner look, Innovative Marine sells these mounting clips to attach to rimless aquariums. And that's it. Place your screen on top of your tank and enjoy. And there you have it. We just completed our screen lid. So if you have any other questions, feel free to call us. And thanks for watching.